Speaker, Mr. Cole Upton. Following Mr. Upton, Mayor Kopshever.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, and Mr. Van Ark. I first appeared before you in 2009, Mr. Pringle. My name is Cole Upton. I'm a farmer, but I'm also a public elected official in 2 water districts in Merced and Madera counties. You counseled me to not come here and tell you what I didn't like. You said roll up your sleeves and start working with high-speed rail and see what you can come up with that'll work. And I did that. You didn't tell me it changed my life for the last 2 years, but it has. I went to every technical working group meeting. I went to your public information meetings. I met with Mr. Van Ark, with the consultants, and everything. And we had engineers come up with routes that we presented to you folks. And to reverse paraphrase Winston Churchill, never has so much time, so much effort, so much money been put into something with no result. Okay? So I'm a little disappointed. I'm continuing to work with you folks. But I got to tell you, some of these options are abominable. And I'm talking about Mr. Wenzel, my friend. He comes up, he calls it a hybrid. I call it a mutant. Okay? It does not even follow any existing corridors in some area, not even a county easement. And it really destroys our water district and the facilities. In addition to that, there's a public safety issue. It's flood control. The northern part of that West Coast bypass option goes through the Dutchman Creek area. There is no flood control device on Dutchman Creek. The farmland floods. What doesn't flood is Highway 99 and the UP train because it was designed that way. And it's going to continue this. So your train is going to go through the floodplain. You even have the Harris Dieger maintenance yard scheduled there. Now, I suppose it could double as a boat repair facility when the floods are there. But you've got to start listening to us. And what I would ask from you, Mr. Chairman, is to give the same advice to your people that you gave to me. Work with the locals and see if we can come up with something that will work together. But I'd also ask, and this is a supposition on my part, I may be wrong, I don't think your locals have the authority to make the decisions. All we get when we go to these meetings is we feel your pain and there's nothing we can do about it. We can solve this problem, but we've got to work together and you folks got to start listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman Pringle and members of the board. My name is Diana Peck. I'm the Executive Director of the Kings County Farm Bureau. I have been here before, and I do want to express, just repeat what Mr. Upton had to say about the frustration we are feeling in the agricultural community because of the fact that our recommendations we feel are not being addressed properly. We are disturbed by a lot of the language in the programmatic environmental documents. There isn't a lot of specifics. We have a lot of vagueness, such as the term that the agricultural land is being affected when it's actually being destroyed, the references to the number of acres being destroyed. When you slice up a piece of agricultural land, a parcel through the middle, you don't just affect the piece that you take, you affect the entire parcel. And so therefore our belief is that it is not hundreds of acres that are being impacted, but actually thousands that are being impacted. Also, I want to express to you a little bit of a frustration for me. I was recently prohibited from attending a technical working group meeting in Kings County, and because I was not a county or city staff member, I also expressed that I was only there to observe. I understood I was not allowed to participate, just to observe. I believe the status and the updates that were going to be expressed that day were very important to the businesses that I represent, and I just feel that this lack of transparency on the authorities' part is cultivating an environment of distrust. And so I just want to address that. What we're doing in Kings County, it's become apparent to us that our public testimony is providing no impacts to the design and planning of this project, and so therefore our citizens have petitioned our local representatives to represent us in this matter. So I just wanted to share this with you just briefly, if I could. Our representatives take it very seriously, their duty to care for the public health, safety, and welfare of their constituents, and this includes our stable economy, productive industry, and healthy environment. When you destroy agricultural lands, you not only affect the farmers involved, you affect the business supporting the agricultural supporting businesses and also the citizens. And so I just want to ask you a brief question. I know I'm out of time, but were you aware of a recent demand by our Kings County government for coordination? Because they asked for the process of coordination and demanded it, and according to your agency coordination document, you established this formal procedure so that the agencies can participate in the environmental review process and not wait for the distribution of the environmental documents, but actually be involved in the preparation of those documents. Your coordination plan states that you promote an efficient, streamlined process as well as good project management through coordination, scheduling, and early resolution of issues. And I just want to say to you that Mr. Abercrombie stated at the first coordination meeting in Kings County, a government-to-government meeting, that the authority does not feel that the provisions cited in the Federal Land Policy Management Act or the ISTEA are directly applicable to this process or this project, nor do you as the authority agree that with our review of the legal basis for this on this effort of coordination. I just wanted to question you on that.
Well, I have no idea what you're talking about, and in fact, all you heard throughout the course of today is coordination with various local government entities. You could talk to any of the counties that are your neighbors, and if, in fact, Kings County in this specific regard, and if you're the spokesperson for the elected officials of Kings County, that's great.
No, I'm not. I'm actually a witness to the process.
They should, in fact, send me a note that they don't feel that they are being heard. I would also like to just hear in a specific sense from some elected officials from Kings County.
Okay.
Because if your voice is that representation from Kings County, then I would like to be told that.
Okay, super.
And in fact, it's hard for me to understand the level of contact, involvement, and engagement that we have had throughout this corridor, and then to hear that your assumption is people are taking you or your organization or businesses or local government for granted. That's certainly not the case. Now, you can point to one or two specific examples where you're not happy or where an alignment discussion comes that you're not going to accept, or that some of the businesses that are part of your association. But in none of your remarks did you specifically reference any of the elements before us as to we don't like this because, or we don't like that because.
We have been stating that.
Well,
we have been stating that.
No, ma'am, you never stated it once today, and I was listening to your words because what we're doing at this moment in time is talking about modifying the alternatives. If there's modification you want to speak to and say, don't do this because of that, or consider this alternative because of that, you can claim that there's no public opportunity for you to express yourself, but guess what? You're expressing yourself in public.
I understand that.
So at this moment in time would have been the most appropriate way for you to say, right here, this affects a piece of property we don't like.
Okay.
And it would be nice for this board to hear it. This board is a part-time board that meets once a month. And some of us only spend about 20, 25 hours a week providing additional support at no cost to the state to hear and participate at events. You're more than welcome to come to the Kern County Council of Government event that I'm going to be speaking at, flying to Bakersfield for that single purpose, and then flying home to make sure I can administer the final exam to the class that I teach on Monday nights. But none of us get paid to do this. So your challenge of our staff and to say that, nobody's listening to you, I want to listen to you, but I got to hear you. I got to understand what you're saying. And at this moment in time, I don't.
Okay, well,
so why don't you put it on a piece of paper?
We have.
Why doesn't?
We have.
No. I'm not going to have a give and take. I heard your point of view. I hope you heard mine. And then maybe you can be very precise and have the members of the Board of Supervisors specifically tell us where they have been denied an opportunity to participate, where they wish to participate, and where this alternative is taking your concerns for granted. So I wish to see that.
Okay, may I just say one more thing then? They have done that in this request to meet with you, but no one from the board nor from senior staff was present, only the regional representation. And they did. And so I will leave this with you. I will leave this packet. So I'm under the assumption that you have not seen this agenda packet, which actually is the letter from the Board of Supervisors to the High Speed Rail Authority, the response from the authority, and the detailed list of conflicts to Kings County's plans.
So leave it with the staff. I'll ask the staff
to
fully set. I have probably only looked at 2,000-3,000 letters that I've received, and it's wonderful that I might not have read 2,000-3,000 agenda packets. I know I've read letters from various people around the state who've expressed precise issues relating to their farm property, their houses, their businesses, and I think members of this board do, as well as that's the whole premise of having a staff developing alternative analysis and giving you an opportunity to be precise and telling us what your concerns are.
I agree, and I believe that we have done that. Thank you.
Okay. Sir.
Well, my name is Franklin Oliveria.
Got it.
I'd like to thank you, Mr. Pringle, and other members of the board for allowing me an opportunity to address you. I'm representing my family, Gaspar's Dairy, and Gaspar's Dairy. We live in Kings County, and our family's been farming and dairying there since the mid-1880s. In 2008, Proposition 1A promised the state would build a high-speed rail along existing transportation corridors that could move California's population effectively and rapidly from the state's vast metropolitan cities and centers in the north and the south. Proposition 1A promised to do all of that while improving the environment. The high-speed rail would be inspiring, benefit all who lived in California and everybody who visited this state. It's a very good thing. In 2008, the voters approved Proposition 1A, and as I understand it, a $9 billion bond was established, and a mandate to build it became a reality. Did you know that in Kings County, Proposition 1A failed? The proposition was easily defeated. You could draw two conclusions off that simple fact. One, the voters in in Kings County, are anti-progress and they oppose change that would be for the greater good of all. Or the voters of the county saw no benefit to them and more harm than benefit to them being caused by this project. Please remember that point. We own 4 farms in your proposed alignment, and we are speaking for one additional dairy in your proposed alignment. Those businesses and homes were established over a century ago. We understand the High-Speed Rail Authority has the legal authority and intention to destroy our businesses and our homes. During the course of this project, you intend to do the same to several thousand landowners like us, and we understand that too. It's my understanding that Kings County has taken the position that they support the creation of the high-speed rail being built as long as it's built along an existing transportation corridor. They oppose the rail being built across the most expensive and highest producing farmland in the county along a route that is crowded with dairies, contrary to the report that you just received. And those dairies and those farms are complying with the county's general plan, and state and federal regulations. The farms and dairies have always been at those locations long before the rail became an issue. Since federal rail authority money is used in this project, it appears that federal regulations and the preparation of an EIS should be followed. We have never been contacted, despite all the banter that's just happened in here. We've never been contacted by the High-Speed Rail Authority and advised by the authority that they're about to condemn our lands or our businesses. We only know what we know by pursuing the authority. We have in good faith advised the authority of potential problems in their planning as we have discovered them. We have not created any problems for the authority. We have just advised the authority about the problems that they are about to encounter by traveling off course through prime farmland.
And, sir, are you near the end of your written statements?
Pretty close.
All right. So your 2 minutes is up about a minute ago. So if you wish to conclude, that would be great.
Well, I can sum all this up pretty quick.
Thank you.
You're about to drive over a plant called Baker Commodity. Baker Commodity processes dead animals, large dead animals, for the entire south end of the valley. They process about 200 dead cows a day, 500 calves, 700 animals, day in, day out. That's about 200,000 dead carcasses a year. Your track is driving right over that. That will affect about 400 dairies, not the dairies that are directly in the route, dairies all over, because that is the only processing rendering plant in that end of the valley. Your staff did not know about this fact until mid-April. They knew the plant was there. They had no idea what it is. And that's the point that I'm trying to explain here. Specific issues. These reports that I see, that I've sat here for months listening to, don't talk about the things on the ground. They do in lofty terms, but they don't actually address 200,000 dead cows in your way. It doesn't discuss destroying an industry, a dairy industry, that there is no place to dispose these animals in the valley. other than this location. They cannot take this plant offline and then rebuild it somewhere else and get it permitted. The dairies that they're going to hit, if they affect wastewater facilities, which they are affecting at about 200 properties, okay, those dairies will have to either go out of business because they will not be able to re-permit in the permitting times to meet regulations to stay in business. I have no idea why your staff, the authority's staff, is unaware of these facts, and I haven't heard any of this today.
Very good. And what a manager in this section heard your comments. He'll take your name down, and they'll follow up with you as well.
Mr. Pringle.
Yes, sir.
He threw me out of a public meeting, okay, about a week and a half ago.
Well, and I'm not going to do that, even though, you know, we want to hear your point of view.
As of 30 minutes ago, sir.
Yes.
Okay, I was invited by email to attend a public meeting in the neighborhood. I'm a stakeholder. I'm not the guy walking out there. You folks are driving over our property, and people like us. We're stakeholders.
Okay.
Okay, and your staff threw us out of a meeting. Furthermore, I contacted the board, the CEO.
Okay, so this is your last statement, sir. I want to hear it. Yes,
absolutely. Please. I contacted Mr. Van Ark about this by email and telephone. And I'm still waiting for a response about being removed from a public meeting.
Okay. Thank you very much for your comments, sir.
Any feedback?
Yes. I tried to make some of it, but I'm not going to debate with you during your presentation, your comments, which we heard. Thank you very much. Next is Mr. Almos.